Alright, so today we're going to go over a really useful prompt, specifically if you already have a digital product available. If you don't have a digital product and you're trying to create one, we do have other videos and prompts for that specifically. But this prompt is designed if you have a digital product and you want to make sure that your pricing is in the right range. So, for instance, this is the prompt right here. We basically say, you are my pricing strategist. Your job is to stress test my price and pricing model. Find what will break sales and give me a safer pricing plan with clear next steps. Then you'll see here that there's a bunch of other stuff that it goes into, and ultimately, like most of our prompts, there will be an intake. Now you can go ahead and edit anything you like here, but take note that this prompt is extremely beginner friendly and ready to roll as is. If you guys want it, you can get it from the description of the video or the pinned comment. Copy it. Once you have it pasted in ChatGPT like so, you simply click enter and it'll start asking us questions through the intake process. So as you see here, it asks us, what are you selling? So I'm going to go ahead and answer each of the intake questions super quickly. That way I'm not going through each of them one by one and taking up time in the video. So I'll be right back and we'll go over it super quickly and then check out to see what it actually does as a prompt. So I went ahead and answered all of the questions, and I framed it as though we are selling, like I did in a few of the other videos actually, is that we're selling a anxiety recovery guide. So it basically asks us what exactly we're selling. I went ahead and said anxiety recovery guide. Then it asks who is the buyer. I went and said beginner to intermediate anxiety sufferers. Now take note, when you guys go ahead and answer these questions, do your best to answer as in-depth and detailed as possible. That way you'll get the most out of the prompt and get the results you're actually looking for. I'm being very general and just using this, fake concept of an anxiety recovery guide just to show you guys exactly how this works. But when you go through the process yourself, I recommend being a bit more descriptive, adding as much detail, and, trying to help ChatGPT truly understand your situation better than what I'm doing. So then it says, what is the core outcome your guide delivers? I just said helps them understand the recovery process. Whatever your niche is, or whatever it is you're selling, just be honest with ChatGPT here. Then we see here, what is your current price idea or range? I just said a guide for $49.99. What is included at that $49.99 price? I said a 200-page PDF guide covering all aspects of recovery in my experience. What does it cost me to deliver? I just went ahead and said the Gumroad and processing fee, since we're talking about specifically just a ebook essentially. Then it says, what are the top 3 alternative buyers used today? I just said all of the above. It would be best to be more detailed and say the 3 specific, just so it knows how we can counter the market. Then we see here, what proof do you have? I just said my own story, but adding more detail here would be helpful as well. What is your main goal? I went ahead and said A and B, which is to maximize sales volume and maximize profit. But there's other things you can also include. You can tell it what your actual goal is. Even if you don't see it here, it'll consider it. And then finally, if there are any constraints, I went ahead and said no, because in my case there wouldn't be. So then it takes everything that we've said and builds assumptions, and then it goes ahead and says the buyer value drivers. So your guide is valuable if it helps them, and it explains every single thing that would be helpful. The delivery cost, your marginal delivery cost is low, so we know that there isn't actually much fees or issues once we actually have it on market. The price to value fit, medium to strong fit. $49.99 is not crazy for a 200-page niche recovery guide, but the weak point is proof. A buyer may think, why pay $50 when I can watch free videos? So the price can work, but only if the sales page makes the guide feel like a structured shortcut, not just my story in PDF form. So see how it's helping us actually understand how to frame our product at this point and understand if our pricing makes sense. So according to it, our pricing does make sense. It's a medium to strong fit, but we should frame it a certain way to get the most out of it. And then objection forecast. I can find this for free on YouTube, and it basically gives all kinds of other stuff of what people may say and how we can rebuttal and actually improve our sales here. So we see $49.99 feels high for a PDF. Who thinks it? And then it says exactly who, and then what to change. Emphasize the depth, the structure, the lived experience, etc. So then we see here what we can add, and then here, will this actually work for me? All the rebuttals, all the issues that people may have with our product. Then we go, let's scroll down a little more. keeps going through each of these issues and how we can counter them. Then the price sensitivity scenarios. Low friction price, $29.99. Best for new audience, low proof, first launch, buyers who trust you but are hesitant. What must be true? You want more buyers and feedback. So it gives us the a pro if we want to lower the price and utilize this if we haven't launched already. The target price, which is what we said initially, this price is easier to sell, but it may underprice a 200-page guide if your audience is engaged. So in this case, because we had a longer guide, it says that this is actually a bit better. Your current offer, balancing sales volume and profit, serious buyers who want the full roadmap. It must be true. It gives us everything that should be there if we're going to do it. And then we can look into a premium price option as well from $79 to $99. This is best when you have a warmer audience, stronger proof later, buyers who already trust your content, version with extras, and what must be true, and it gives us everything that we should. So then it gives us a pricing ladder. So it gives us the guide. Then we can later upsell the supporter edition if we wanted to just, for instance, get a tip in it. Then there's a downsell, a mini guide that we can basically create and sell as well. In the case that there's people that say that $49.99 is too much. And then it goes over and says the too high, too low diagnosis, explains everything to basically test to see whether or not this is too high or too low. A 7-day pricing validation plan, and just going over everything that we have and everything that we've filled out and trying to see why this price will work or won't work. And take note, when you're going through the process of selling your product, you can always come back to the chat where you entered this prompt and basically explain how it's going, and it can help you restructure your pricing as you go. Maybe you can increase the price later on. Maybe you should decrease the price later on. Maybe you should release a mini product or an upsell. But this is what this prompt is designed to do. So as you see here, it gives us a final recommendation. Launch with the main guide, $49.99. Early reader launch price, we can give a discount for the first 25 buyers. And do not start at $99 yet, not because the value can't be there, but because your current proof is mostly your own story. Build buyer feedback first, then raise and add a premium tier. So it gives us a whole breakdown, and like I said, when you're going through it, be as descriptive as you can in the actual intake. And when you actually are working on whatever it is that your product is and you want extra information, you can always come back to the chat and tell it how it's going, and it'll help you restructure your plan as you go along. So once again, you can get this prompt from the description of the video or the pinned comment. Once you have it, you simply copy, hit paste on ChatGPT, hit enter, answer the intake questions in detail, and you'll be good to go. So hopefully you guys found this video helpful. If you did, please like and subscribe, and have a nice day.